Trick or treat on you, Jerry Burns. In this NFL season of goblins and replacement football, your substitute Vikings came in and dropped 3 games in a row. But now the regulars are back, and they've treated you to a 3rd win by beating Denver last Monday night. 3 touchdowns from rookie DJ Dozier, helping to even up the record. Bewitched, Bothered, and Bosworth. The Seattle Seahawks have seen it all this season, but Brian Bosworth has fit right into an already aggressive defense. Well, on offense, consistent Steve Largent and Kurt Warner have helped the Seahawks climb to within a game of first place in the AFC West. Halloween is over. The demons are gone. But the Vikings have now arrived in the Pacific Northwest to take on the Seattle Seahawks in an important matchup. Live from the Kingdome in Seattle, Washington, an important interconference matchup. The Minnesota Vikings and the Seattle Seahawks. Important for these reasons. Seattle at 4-2, right behind San Diego, just getting underway with Cleveland at San Diego. In the NFC Central, Minnesota in an almost crucial situation. They must win to keep alive their wild card hopes. The Bears are on top at 5-1, and latest report from there, they are up by 3 with about 3 minutes remaining against Kansas City. The magic of Jim McMahon bringing them from 2 touchdowns back. Hello, everybody. I'm Tim Ryan with Joe Theismann here at the Kingdome. And, Joe, these 2 teams coming off hot victories this past week. Minnesota with a big win over Denver, and Seattle beating up on the Raiders. Both of them scoring a lot of points. Looks like a very even matchup.
I think it is, Tim, but you have to understand that each of these teams has played very good football throughout this period with their regulars. Seattle last week going out scoring 35 points. They've presented a little bit of problem for the Minnesota defense. Minnesota stunts a lot. But Seattle has been able to go out and convert not just short 3rd downs. And that's really the key this ball game for Seattle, is can they continue to convert those 3rd downs? 3rd down in 17, 3rd down in 18. That's what's going to have to be bothered with the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, we are underway here with the Seattle Seahawks kicking it to the Vikings to our right. And Neil Guggemos with a pretty good return gets it up over the 25 to the 28-yard line of the Vikings. In their road white uniforms, Wade Wilson will lead out the Vikings, having won his last 5 games as a starter. The injury to Tommy Kramer. Defensively for the Seattle Seahawks, Green, Nash, and Bryant across the front. Veterans all. Brian Bosworth, the rookie, star in there, along with Pro Bowler Fred Young at the linebacker core. And the secondary of Taylor Hunter, the veteran, easily playing with a sore shoulder. Eugene Robinson, the free safety. Wilson cannot find a receiver, and he barely gets back to the line of scrimmage. Bryant and Nash made the stop on him. Offensively for the Minnesota Vikings, Darren Nelson with a sore back, still starting at running back with Anderson. Carter Lewis and Jordan, the receiving core. Gary Zimmerman, Huffman, Loudermilk, Tausch, and Irwin. Huffman, the new starter this year on the Viking offensive line. Wade Wilson, 7-year man out of East Texas State. Anderson and Rice are in the backfield on 2nd down, and Rice breaks tackles and picks up about 6 yards. Eugene Robinson on the tackle. There's Brian Bosworth right in the middle of your screen, crouched down, ready to go, going to launch himself up. As he moves along, he just overruns the play a little bit. He's very aggressive. The run defense is actually his strong point. In talking to him, he said the most difficult thing to be able to adjust to becoming a professional has been pass drops and pass defense. Alfred Anderson is the injured Viking, Joe, at the 30-yard line on the last play in which Rice carried. Anderson in a blocking mode, and the 4-year man from Baylor getting some attention. They can ill afford to have their running backs get hurt. Of course, Darren Nelson's been questionable all week and obviously did not start today because of a back spasm problem. Now Alfred Anderson looks like he's working on his shoulder, so that leaves Rice and Finney and Dozier to carry the load back there. We have a 3rd down and 4 for the Minnesota Vikings opening series of this important midseason matchup between 2 interconference rivals. Only the 4th meeting between these 2 teams. Rick Fenney has come in at fullback, and that reception for him, and also to cheer up the Seattle defense. Incomplete. Intended for Anthony Carter, and Minnesota will have to punt. A huge victory for the New Orleans Saints over Atlanta today. We'd like to welcome those of you who have been watching that game. We are just underway here in Seattle. The Seahawks have stopped the Vikings on their opening offensive series, and the Vikings are about to punt. Greg Coleman from his 20-yard line. Bobby Joe Edmonds is the deep man, waiting for it at the Seattle 20. Pretty good rush. Coleman gets it away. Short punt to the 35. Bobby Joe Edmonds to the 24-yard line of the Vikings on a punt return. Scott Studwell, the last man, knocked him out.
What you're going to see happen here is you're going to see the Vikings get down the field. They all get caved in. A great job by Seattle. They all got caved in from the left side to the right side of your screen. Now Bobby Joe just picks up the picket line. Excellent decisions not to clip. Look at the block on Coleman by Freddie Young. Hits somebody else. Gets knocked out of bounds. Special teams a very, very big part of Seattle's football.
41-yard return for Edmonds. On first down, Kurt Warner off the left tackle for 2. Dave Craig, the quarterback for Seattle, facing this defense. Henry Thomas, the lone rookie. He has been impressive. Linebacking core of Howard Studwell and Jesse Solomon, the former free agent who moved into a starting role. Wyman Henderson, a USFL refugee, on the left corner, getting that spot when Isaac Holt was injured earlier in the season. Second down, Vikings. John Williams. Second down, Seahawks, obviously. John L. Williams, number 32, and picks up about 3 inside the 20-yard line. They'll spot it at about the 17. Dave Craig at quarterback. Warner and John L. Williams are running backs. Turner, Largent, Mike Tice, the tight end.
And on that play, you know what happens? You see, there's the offensive line: Matz, Bailey, Bush, Millard, and Wilson. Minnesota likes to stunt with their front people. And that time they got caught in movement, allowed John L. to move off and pick up some good yardage.
Third down and 2. Craig has Turner inside the 10 at the 9 and a first down, Seattle. Gugamus and Reggie Rutland combined on the tackle. Seahawks on the doorstep following that punt return by Edmonds. We welcome those of you just joining us here in Seattle. The Seahawks are on the doorstep at Kurt Warner over the 5 to the 4-yard line. It'll be second and goal, opening offensive series for Seattle. There you see the final score, Washington and Buffalo, as the Redskins move to 6-1. And those of you watching that game, welcome here.
They shut down the Jim Kelly show in Buffalo. Scored 27 themselves. Seattle is a football team that is different. You look at the big plays they get throwing the football, but they really, really want to run it. That's how they're going to make their bread and butter. Kurt Warner is the man that makes it happen for them.
It is second and goal. The Seahawks opening offensive series. Turner, touchdown. Dave Craig lofting it to the corner, a 4-yard score, all set up by a 41-yard punt return. Bobby Joe Edmonds, after the Seahawks had stopped Minnesota's opening offensive series. And the Seattle team has taken it in. Craig, 4 yards to Darrell Turner.
Darrell Turner is a guy that Seattle has gone to. He's made 7 receptions this year. 4 of them have been for touchdowns. And And in talking to the Minnesota secondary, they felt like he's the big man they have to shut down.
Norm Johnson's point after is good. And so Seattle has jumped into the early lead. 65,000 watching indoor football at the Kingdome. The bearded quarterback, Dave Craig.
David Craig is going to go right back into the middle of the screen. Good protection by his offensive line. They don't have to hold a long time, so they set right at the line of scrimmage. This is just a little alley-oop, little fade they call it at the line of scrimmage. Turner does an excellent job getting away from Carl Lee. Now, up here at the top of your screen, you see the move right there to get away from Lee is what sets up this touchdown pass. It isn't that he runs away from him. It's that he freezes the defensive back at the line of scrimmage that allows him to get around.
When you were talking to Dave Craig about his receiving corps yesterday, it was interesting that he said, I like to get to Turner early, and I like to try and give him a touchdown opportunity early because it builds his confidence. If he catches the ball early in the football game, usually that'll keep him going the rest of the way. He didn't feel that was so necessary with the veteran Steve Largent, who seems to he could come in for the final play of the game and make a
he
catch.
says Steve couldn't play 3.5 quarters. He'd come in and be ready. But it is very important. But with young players especially, you want to get a guy a ball early in the game. Let him get hit. Let him get a feel for it. That way you know you're going to have him in the football game for the entire contest.
So the Seahawks will kick it off. That beard on Dave Craig, if you haven't seen him for a while, yes, it's new. It was grown during the strike time. What else are you going to do when you're not playing pro football on Sunday afternoons? Dave Craig grew a beard. He assured us his wife and family approved. Johnson's high kickoff at the 15 of Minnesota. It is Gilgamesh. Make it DJ Dozier. Right now, let's take you to Brent Musburger for an NFL update.
All right, Tim, here are the numbers on Eric Dickerson. His debut with Indianapolis, 10 rushes for 38 yards, caught 1 pass for 28 more, but Albert Bentley ran for 144 yards, and the Colts beat the Jets 19-14. Back to Tim.
Minnesota. First down at their own 24-yard line, and a roused Seahawks crowd here in the Kingdome, creating a lot of noise for them already. Lewis in motion. Dozier. Hit at the line of scrimmage, got 2. Jeff Bryant, number 77, the defensive end from Clemson on the stop.
And that's going to be the task of Gary Zimmerman all afternoon. Bryant lining up on the right defensive end side. Very aggressive, very active defensive lineman. There's the Boz taking signals. Now, I got a bone to pick with him a little bit. My son has a haircut now like the Boz. Of course, he doesn't have the color in it. Not really. I guess it's fine. You know, when you're 16, you do things like that with your hair.
I thought you were going to say you're unhappy he didn't bring that earring he promised you.
Yeah, he was going to promise me one today.
2nd and 9. That is Rick Fenny, the rookie from the University of Washington. I got a nice hand from the crowd when he appeared on the field the first time. Picked up about 2 here. He was the 8th round pick of the Vikings and a star at the University of Washington. He's a local boy from the city of Seattle.
Jeff Bryant's going to come firing right through here to make the play. You see him get into the backfield, make a hit. See how he just stunts right in, doesn't make the tackle, but he creates so much of a problem for the offensive line blocker.
3rd down and 4. Wilson is hit. The ball is loose. Seattle has it. Blitzing linebacker Fred Young got an arm on the quarterback. The ball was recovered by Jacob Green.
Wilson's going back in the pocket. Now, right from the right side of your screen, you're going to see Fred Young go right around Zimmerman. He just hits his arm just as he starts to let the ball go, and Jacob Green pounces on the ball.
First down, Seattle, deep in Viking territory. They already lead by 7. Craig, deep corner for Largent, incomplete. Ball a little underthrown. The coverage by Wyman Henderson second down. Right now, let's get another NFL update from Brent Musburger.
All right, Tim Ryan. Jim McMahon has done it again. Brought the Bears from behind. 3 touchdown passes. The last 2 to Willie Gault, 38 and 25 yards. And the Bears rally to beat Kansas City, 31-28. Back to Tim.
Yet another remarkable performance by the Magic Man in Chicago. Second down and 10 here in Seattle. Tim Ryan and Joe Theismann watching the Seahawks and the Vikings. And Seattle threatening again. A punt return set up an early touchdown, and the Minnesota fumble has Seattle down here deep once more. Good defensive work by the Vikings on that play. Carl Lee stopping Kurt Warner for a gain of maybe 2 yards at most.
There's Floyd Peters. Talks about his defense, telling him what to do, give him the signals in. He's a spy. Keep an eye out there. That's what that spy glass is. He's the kind of a coach that I asked him last time I did a Minnesota game earlier in this year, and I said, Floyd, tell me about your defense. He says, as soon as we step off the bus, we start stunning. We start moving those defensive linemen around, trying to get them in the right position.
Well, he's going to have to do some here because Seattle in position to take a quick lead of 10 or 14. Deep corner for Turner, and that one overthrown by Craig. Little rough stuff back behind the line of scrimmage here. That is Ron Mattis, the left tackle, underneath the pileup. And my guess would be that he probably had a grip on a jersey of one of the defenders.
And the guy that would be over him would be Chris Dolman.
And that's who got into the scuffle with him.
No decision on that one.
No decision. Fourth down, Seattle.
And when you get fighting this early in a football game, it tells you about the intensity of the game. His coach he's a quite calm guy. I mean, he doesn't get too excited. Doesn't want to take his hat off.
Yeah, but he's working the gum there.
He works it out pretty good. I imagine that gum's going to get real small by about the fourth quarter.
From the 29-yard line, Norm Johnson will attempt a 39-yard field goal. Jeff Kemp is the holder, number 15. No good. Wide to the left. And Norm Johnson looking up saying, how can I miss that? Can't complain about the air conditioning in here. So the Vikings get a real break there. The fumble by Wade Wilson on the hit by Fred Young as he was about to make the pass, giving Seattle a great opportunity, and they come up empty, but they lead 7-0. Now some scores late in the fourth quarter. Tampa Bay leading Green Bay 23-17. And, of course, Tampa Bay at 3-3 and the Pack at 3-2-1 going into that game. The Bears pulling it out. Philadelphia leading St. Louis. A lot of scoring in that ball game. Cincinnati after a rough start ahead of Houston.
Boomer's
Miami
back on track, and now Marino's got his team back on track.
And it's a final over Pittsburgh. First down, Vikings. Wilson deep. He's got Carter wide open, and the ball is dropped. Incomplete. The cornerback, number 23, had the initial coverage.
Anthony Carter, from the left side of your screen, Wade Wilson's going to set, gets excellent protection off the play action. He just doesn't get this ball out far enough. Easily gets caught up. He makes the move on the corner, and the ball is underthrown a little bit. Now, he never really had possession of it, so they didn't call it complete. That was Patrick Hunter that he beat on the left side.
Yeah, Seattle wanted a catch and a fumble there, but it was quite clear that he never had possession of the ball. I thought he should have caught it, even though it was underthrown.
Well, he's got to come back for the ball. You've got to take the ball at its highest point if it's underthrown. It's something they preach and teach the defensive backs, but offensive receivers have to do the same thing.
So it is 2nd and 10, Vikings. In motion goes Rick Finney. Short drop to Wilson. He's in trouble. Scrambles out for 5. For another NFL update, let's go back to New York and Brent Musburger.
All right, Tim, the St. Louis Cardinals need a miracle because Randall Cunningham's third touchdown pass of the afternoon, 9 yards to Garrity, has the Eagles leading 28-23. 10 seconds to go. Let's go back to Tim.
Well, the Eagles certainly played with a lot of emotion and a lot of ability last week against Dallas, and Buddy Ryan seems to have that team on the rise.
And each week you can see the maturing process of Randall Cunningham. He just gets better and better as the weeks go on.
We have 3rd down and 6. As it turns out, they gave Wilson 4 on his scramble. Pressure again from Fred Young. Good block on him. He's got Carter open. He's got the ball to the 32-yard line of Seattle. Eugene Robinson drove him out there, but Wilson came right back to Anthony Carter. Carter playing with some sore ribs suffered in the Monday night game against Denver.
See Anthony Carter's, Patrick Hunter's right on his nose. He makes the move. Now right here, the ball has gone up in the air. See how he looks back to set up the defensive guy? Great throw by Wade Wilson. Another thing on that play, you'll notice that Minnesota likes to use a shotgun on 3rd down because of the noise. You see him under the center? Normally they're in a shotgun situation, but because of the noise in this stadium, they've decided that it's best that the quarterback go up under the center so there is no problem with communication.
44-yard pass play. Vikings at the Seattle 32. Dozier gets a couple inside the 30-yard line. Initial contact made by Jacob Green, number 79. There's DJ Dozier, the Penn State star, playing today against the man who preceded him there with the Nittany Lions, Kurt Warner. Interesting to find out from DJ and Kurt that they met each other for the first time at last year's Fiesta Bowl. And spent about an hour chatting with each other.
Yeah, and talked about one guy, Joe Paterno, and their experience playing for him.
Clearly a tremendous impression made by Paterno on both those young men. 2nd down. Quick pass out, fine catch by Allen Rice on the fly, has a 1st down Minnesota. Perfectly timed pass from Wilson. And Rice was in full stride as he caught the ball. So they have a 1st down as he's tripped up by Robinson.
Well, they'll flood out. What will happen is Feeney will go in motion, and then Rice is going to swing right out. But Bosworth gets caught in the middle. He gets caught in the wash, so to speak, as everybody's flowing that way. You see him start to move to the right. He gets picked by Hassan Jones and manages to get on down the field.
At the 19-yard line, 1st down. Now we'd like to welcome some more folks joining us on our doubleheader action today. Tampa Bay has just defeated Green Bay 23-17. I'm Tim Ryan with Joe Theismann here in Seattle, where the Seahawks took an early lead following a long punt return by Bobby Joe Edmonds, but now the Vikings are on the doorstep.
Number 79 on the defense. That penalty is declined. 1st down.
Minnesota's coming out of the huddle, doing a lot of things on quick counts. Wade Wilson gets up under the center, says, hut 1, hut 2, boom, they're gone. This is to try and take the 12th fan out of this game, and that would be the fans in the Kingdom. They make a lot of noise in this place.
Flag on the play. Rick Finney, the ball carrier, the rookie from the University of Washington, and he was the man who carried the ball on the last play. So Jerry Burns giving the rookie back here in his hometown some opportunities.
That was illegal motion against Minnesota. When you get a lot of crowd noise, when you get close to the end zones, it
illegal
really
motion,
makes a difference.
Number 83 on the offense, still 1st down.
Tight end is the furthest man removed from the ball, who should be able to hear the quarterback's cadence. The wide receivers have to watch it, but the tight end didn't that time. He anticipated and was offside. It's just one of the factors that the Vikings are going to have to deal with in this game.
That's Steve Jordan, number 83. So the Vikes are set back. The ball at the 11-yard line. 1st down. For Lewis. Lewis says, I caught the ball. What's the signal? Yes, he caught the ball complete, but he's still outside the goal line. Eugene Robinson made the tackle. Lewis felt he had a touchdown, but I think he was more concerned they were calling it incomplete.
He's going to come from the top left-hand side of your screen. Wilson's just going to take that short drop, little 1, 2, 3. A lot of movement by the offensive line to confuse the secondary. But look at this catch, a one-hander right in the gut. I think he's in the end zone.
Well, so did Leo Lewis think he was in the end zone, but nonetheless, it is 2nd and goal inside the 1-yard line. Carl Hilton and Dennis Schwilly have come in for blocking purposes. Wilson dives, Wilson takes it in on his own. And the Vikings have closed to within a point.
Well, you could see how everybody in the offensive and defensive line just gets nose to nose in a goal line situation.
Well, we've been joined now by the folks watching the Philadelphia-St. Louis game. The Eagles rolling to a 28-23 victory over the Cardinals here in Seattle. Tim Ryan with Joe Theismann, and we have just watched the Vikings score. Wade Wilson, the quarterback, who has been playing for the injured Tommy Kramer and playing well, has just taken it in from a yard away. And it'll be Chuck Nelson, another former University of Washington star, attempting to tie it up, and he does. So we have a tie football game in Seattle with 4:21 remaining here in the first period of play.
Minnesota managing to capitalize on some great defensive play. What I mean by that is their defense stopped Seattle in the scoring position. They weren't even able to convert a field goal, allowing their offense to get back on the field, get back in the rhythm of this game. If you're a visiting team coming into Seattle, it bothers you walking into the stadium. They're so loud, and the fans are such a part of this thing. You don't want to make a mistake and just get them all excited. Look at everybody nose to nose. Now, you want to call offsides, you could, depending upon who you think is where. But this is just Wade. Now, he's going to look for a weak spot in the defense, take a drop step, and just lunge. Boom. Try and get across. The only thing that has to break that goal line, or the plane it's called, is the ball. And I believe it did. You see Patrick Hunter and Bosworth and Easley and everybody else trying to push him back.
Joe, you have to admire the work of Wade Wilson last week against Denver. 5 interceptions, a couple of them tipped, mind you, but they won the ball game. He hung in there. Jerry Burns told us he had no thought of taking him out. Here early in this game, a near sack by Fred Young, gets the hit on him. He drops the ball, and it leads to the first Minnesota score. You got to feel like this guy's got a lot of strength of character, I guess the best way to describe it.
Also, he got a big reminder last week. Kurt Loudermilk, their center, walked up to him, and after he threw the 5th interception, he said, "Hey, Wade, we're wearing purple." So the offensive linemen have subtle ways to get to you as your quarterback. You know, they don't criticize you with this, "Hey, look, you know, we're wearing purple." He also said he was going to go see an eye doctor this week just to make sure that he wasn't colorblind.
The Vikings in white on the road here in Seattle today. Chuck Nelson getting ready to kick it off. Bobby Joe Edmonds and Randall Morris are the deep man for the Seahawks. Edmonds, remember, if you've been among those who just joined us from other games, he returned a punt 41 yards early in this first quarter to the Minnesota 24, and then Dave Craig hit Turner for the touchdown that put Seattle on top.
We've seen the offenses move the ball fairly well against each defense. The factor in this game, which could swing in Seattle's favor, is the great play of their special teams. Talk to DJ Dozier. Even at Penn State, when Joe Paterno coached there, he used to take out the film of Seattle's special teams. They have a lot of respect for him, both on the college level as well as in professional ball.
Randall Morris, pardon me, is a return man, getting it out to the 27-yard line. Well, now they've spotted it closer to the 30 for Randall Morris, and it'll be first down for the Seattle Seahawks as we look at some finals. Chicago coming from behind
again,
and Philadelphia over St. Louis. Cincinnati leading that one, not yet over. Miami beating up on Pittsburgh today. Indianapolis over the Jets 19-14. Eric Dickerson thrown right into battle today in his first game as a coach.
Like a replacement player. You're there a day, you play.
That's right. First down and some early movement. John L. Williams out the left side got maybe 2 yards.
Well, that's Chris Dolman coming from the right side. You know, they put him down as a linebacker. He played linebacker last year. He's sort of one of those unique guys. He's 6'5", he's 250. He's not necessarily big enough to be a defensive lineman, but not fast enough to be a linebacker. So they've compromised and put him on the right end as a pass rusher.
Holding, number 81 on the offense. Onside, number 56 on the defense. Penalties all set. We'll replay the first down.
Red Cash and the referee, the succinct explanation of what happened there, and they'll play the down over.
All that means nothing. You know that, don't you?
As it turns out.
Nothing. We're not going anywhere. The ball's staying right here.
First down just inside the 30-yard line for the Seahawks. Now Williams, Kurt Warner, the running backs. Warner to the 37-yard line. Jesse Solomon, number 54, made the stop there.
There's David Craig with his beard barking out the signals. They need Kurt Warner just to continue to run. This is an excellent job by the offensive line. Mike Tice leading the way. There you see Kurt Warner cut up inside, got a great block on Joey Browner. Steve Largent out front. You know, those wide receivers aren't supposed to block. Largent just does everything.
Warner was not happy at the late landing by David Howard, number 51. They had a few words, so we've had some tempers flaring early in this game. 2nd and 2. Williams has a first down, Seattle, to the 41-yard line. Stopped by Solomon. Jesse Solomon, 10th round pick in 1986 out of Florida State. I think I referred to him as a free agent when we introduced them, but he was way down at the bottom of the picks and came into camp and said, I'm going to make your team, and here he is now a year later as starter.
And, you know, talking to David Craig, we're witnessing that Seattle, and it's so quiet here when Seattle has the ball. They can communicate. You can hear them yell to each other. The wide receivers have no trouble hearing. Craig said, we have to run the ball today. And they're trying.
Warner ran into a blocker, cuts it back the other way, and turns it into a 9-yard gain. Browner and Wyman Henderson stopped him there, but he ran into his tackle, Ron Mattis, as he started out to the left.
You're going to see him go to the left upper part of your screen. Now, the aggressiveness of Minnesota's defense makes this happen. You see Howard flow, the defensive line, Martin move over. Warner just really, it's like almost a reverse. Now he comes back right the other way, picks up 8-9 yards.
26 yards rushing for Kurt Warner. 2nd down, a long yard. The ball just inside midfield. Early jump again by Dolman. Williams appears to have picked up the first down yardage, but if the offside is against Minnesota, he'll have it anyway.
Oh, boy, David Craig has got him on a string. That's what those hard counts. The quarterback gets up and he goes, hut one, hut! And he hits it real hard. High-pitched voice. The linemen have got their feet back. They're ready to fire out. Boom, he comes off the ball and doesn't have time to get back.
One thing that has been consistent about Seattle early this season is that they have been tough in the first period. They get on top of you.
Well, they do, and they keep it up as the game goes on. Also, conversely, Minnesota has not necessarily been that fast starting a team. It takes them a little while to get their engines going. Bob Schnelker setting it up, who's the offensive coordinator for Minnesota, gets a chance to look at what the defenses are doing. Then he puts his offense in high gear.
First down at the 45-yard line of the Vikings. 5 down linemen on this down, and it's batted away by Chris Dolman. Flags are down. Dolman leaping in there again. Got a hand on that ball. And we may have a holding penalty against the Seahawks.
He's flailing. He was flailing in on that. Arms flying all over.
Was he ever? Yeah, and I'm not sure that he actually even saw the ball, but he had his hands up, which is what all those defensive coaches tell you to do.
I used to hate that. You know, if the guy makes a great play, that's one thing. But if he comes...
Holding, number 75 on the offense, still first down.
Yeah, but if a guy comes wandering in and knocks it away, it doesn't matter. Second one in from the left. Right there, you're going to see the penalty. You just can't hold on. You just can't hang on. He's got Martin up high. He's got him down low, and he's riding him around. As soon as you get your arms away from your body, the referees are going to throw the flag.
This is Warner on first down. It's over the 50 and picks up about 6 yards, pretty close to 6 for Kurt Warner and David Howard. And Scott Studwell, the linebackers, 51 and 55, made a stop.
This is a play that Seattle has put in. You'll notice this line is unbalanced on this side. And what they're going to do is just quick pitch and try and get around the corner. Because Minnesota stunts so much, it's very difficult for them to make the adjustments. You see Studwell can't get through all the offensive players. And Warner has a chance to pick and choose as he goes.
Second down and about 15. Warner again. dropped just over the line of scrimmage. First contact by Dolman, and then Carl Lee, the cornerback, number 39, came up to help out. So about a yard picked up. It'll be 3rd down and 14.
And it would appear that Seattle, wanting to run the ball on 2nd and long, hope to get some more. Last week they were 14 for 19 on 3rd down conversions, and they weren't short yardage conversions. They were 3rd and 18, 3rd and 19. They lead the National Football League in 3rd down conversions. Their replacement team and their regulars combined is at about 54%, but their regular team in 3 games has been 60%.
Time winds down here in this first quarter, and we have a tie football game at the Kingdome in Seattle.
Sir, would you prefer hamburger A, a Wendy's hamburger, which is always made fresh, or hamburger B, which is pre-made and sits around?
B! It's hard like my deltoids.
Yes, but wouldn't you rather have the juicy taste of the Wendy's hamburger?
Hey, no pain, no gain. And that beef burger, that's pain, yeah, real pain, the kind I like. That burger put some serious hurt in me. I love it. Got any more?
Most people like the taste of fresh hamburgers, like Wendy's, the best burgers in the business.
Hey, if you're looking for the only front-wheel drive sports car in the world that gives you 2.5 liters of fuel-injected power, a sports suspension system, and an unbeatable 770 protection plan, all for an affordable price, then look no further. It's gotta be the 1988 Dodge Daytona.
It's gotta be a Dodge.
The way I see it, people used to know about nature, respected it. Then they figured they'd try to make it better. Take beer. Can you imagine why anyone would want to add anything artificial to something that just comes naturally from ingredients like grain, water, barley, hops? Neither can Coors.
Theismann at the Kingdome in Seattle, and you can see we have a Boz pumpkin here.
That's right, Halloween. I wonder what Boz went out as last night, huh? Probably put a business suit on and a wig.
Brian Bosworth. That's very good, Joe. It's probably right. A pinstripe suit. 3rd down and 13. Craig has a man open in the middle. Scanzi, and Scanzi has a first down. Joey Browner made the stop. Now they're going to spot the ball back a little bit, which I think is good because his knee was down at about that spot. And let's see whether or not the measurement's going to give him a first down.
Scanzi's going to come from the top left of your screen. And again, credit the offensive line of Seattle. Minnesota not rushing a lot of men, dropping everybody back in coverage. Now you see him just cross right there, makes the turn, moves up. I don't think he got it. I agree. He bounced a little bit forward.
There's Paul Scanzi, also another former University of Washington player. Picked up as a free agent from the Steelers back in '85. It'll be just short. They did get the measurement. It's at the 35-yard line.
You got to go for it. You're too close to punt. It's too far for a field goal. The other team's going to have to go 35 yards if you don't make it, and it's a great boost for your home fans. You know, Seattle's back now after the replace. This is the first game after the strike, so they've got their fans behind them. If they make it, it's a big plus in the ball game for them.
7-7 tie, early second period, 4th down and inches. Vikings line up 2, 4, 6, 8 men on the line of scrimmage here to try and stop this. Tackle by John Harris, the former Seahawk, or Warner would be in the end zone.
Right here, you're going to see some great blocks by that offensive line. Warner's just going to fire through, and a saving tackle is what's going to make a difference. Big plays coming short here. Look at the hole that offensive line creates. Studwell misses the tackle. John Harris with the tackle downfield. Got a player down.
Player injured on the play is David Howard. linebacker number 51.
Holding, number 34 on the offense, 4th down.
And a holding penalty against the rookie Tony Burst, number 34. We'll be right back here with a timeout on the field. 4:26 to play, first half.
If you're looking for the only family wagon that gives you front-wheel drive, an available overhead cam fuel-injected V6, a choice of long or short wheelbase, and an unbeatable 770 protection plan, then look no further. It's gotta be the best-selling family wagon in the world, the unequaled Dodge Caravan. It's gotta be a Dodge.
Grandpa, will you send me a postcard?
I'll send you more than one.
Years of waiting and planning.
Time to go.
Then the thing you dreamed about is real.
Why do I feel like a new bride?
Whatever your financial needs, Nationwide Insurance can help give blanket protection. From life insurance to mutual funds and retirement plans.
You're gonna love it.
So you'll be ready for anything.
What a way to start a trip. Original, huh?
Make red. Be red. Make blue. Be blue. Make colors as bright as life. Make colors feel like colors feel.
The brilliant colors of life. Trust RCA to bring them to you on Precision Performance Big Screen TV. Only from RCA. The most trusted name in electronics.
Tim Ryan and Joe Theismann back here at the Kingdome, and the holding penalty against the Seahawks brings up a 4th down, and Ruben Rodriguez, a rookie punter, stands at his 40-yard line ready to kick it.
That was David Howard. It looked like they were working on his knee. Gets caught in it. This turf is so tough on the players. You cut, and your body's just not used to it.
Leo Lewis waved fair catch. The ball came down at the 2-yard line and through the end zone. So we'll be back with a Vikings possession. The score tied at 7.
For 75 years, Liberty Mutual has shown companies like IBM, companies like General Mills, companies like Ramada Inns, and thousands of others how to make their workers' compensation dollars work harder. As a result, they've made Liberty Mutual the largest insurer of America's working men and women.
America believes in liberty. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Radio Shack's sale price Tandy 1000 TX brings the gift of a true high-speed business computer to your home affordably. PC compatible, easy to use, with 7 ready-to-run programs for the family. Keep a budget, write term papers, even create graphics or learn music. Save $250 on the high-speed Tandy 1000 TX, color monitor included, only $1249. Tandy Computers, because there is no better gift value. Only at Radio Shack.
If you're looking for the best full-size pickup value anywhere, and it's got to be well equipped, inside and out, fuel injected under the hood, and backed with the best truck warranty there is, for a price that's hundreds less than any other full-size pickup there is, it's got to be a Dodge Ram 100.
It's gotta be a Dodge.
Two teams, both gunning for major bowl bids. 4th-ranked Florida State battles 6th-ranked Auburn. A top 10 collision next Saturday on CBS Sports.
You know, Joe, everybody's been talking about Eric Dickerson today, but the Vikings, I think, have let a guy get away that they're going to be sorry about here based on these statistics we saw. Look at what this guy's accomplished.
This guy departed rushing 62 times, departed receiving 32 catches, departed 2 interceptions, 18 punts, punt return. I mean, the guy does everything. Look, kickoff returns, 18 of them.
Why would they let a guy like that get away?
What's his name? You know, I mean,
Dearly departed, and they're probably trying to re-sign him now, or at least even get a bunch of draft choices for him. I don't know they ever let Dearly get away. First down, Vikings from their 20-yard line. B.J. Dozier picks up about 3 yards, and Jacob Green made the stop. Well, they could have used Dearly on that team, but obviously whatever time he had with them didn't result in any victories.
No, he must not have done the job. Obviously, he led everybody in unproduced wins. Hey, if Minnesota keeps losing their backs like they have with Nelson not playing and Alfred Anderson hurt, they may have to go find Dearly.
Second down and 6. This is Alan Rice. Rice diving ahead with a good second effort will be close to the first down yardage out at the 30. He should come up about a half-yard short. But one of the strengths of this very impressive Viking offense is the fact they have good depth at running back. When you've got Anderson out of there, you've got Rice in. When you've got Darren Nelson out of there, the rookie Dozier, of course, their #1 pick this year from Penn State. And Rick Finney, the rookie from Washington, has had a couple of carries today.
And everybody has played before. To there, Houston comes back again to beat Cincinnati, 31-29. David Howard has turned his ankle, so he probably won't be back the rest of the afternoon for the Vikings.
Finney is in there now with Dozier. Dozier hit behind the line of scrimmage on 3rd and short. A loss of about 3. Fred Young. This guy is something, Joe.
He is. He's the main cog in their defense. He's their big pass rusher. There you see him right there. He's going to make the play. Just get across the line of scrimmage and do whatever you have to do. He gets down low, fires in hard, winds up going forward and making the tackle.
They only needed about 10 inches for a first down. But Young stuffs Dozier behind the line, and Minnesota must punt. B.J. Edmonds, Bobby Joe back to receive.
Seattle has everybody up. Now, whether they're going to set up a return, no, they're going after it.
Coleman's punt takes a Viking bounce. A flag down, however, at the line of scrimmage as the ball rolls all the way inside the 20-yard line of Seattle. 52-yard punt by Coleman, and a discussion with the Seahawks back at the line of scrimmage.
We've got an illegal reporting, number 67 on the offense.
Dennis Swilly, when he came in the game, saw him running late. He's got to get to the referee and let him know that he's in a position as an eligible receiver, whether it's a wingback or an end. If he doesn't tell the referee, he won't be able to tell the other team, to be fair. So they wind up with a penalty.
67 reported as an end on the previous play, came back in and played tackle. That's illegal reporting. It's 4th down.
Well, you know, you might question why would number 67 be an end on a play that is a short yardage situation. Well, he is a blocker on that play, and he does line up outside for power blocking in a short yardage situation. That's why he had reported as an end.
You don't want to give Seattle a second chance, because they may just come on and try and block this thing.
Coleman standing inside his 10, hits it from the 14, and it is not a good kick this time. Takes a Seahawk hop and is downed at midfield. Carl Hilton downed it, so Seattle will start right at midfield when we return.
Chic Plus has a lubricating comfort strip to give you a smooth touch, an easy touch that's more comfortable than ever.
A touch this easy makes me understand. When it comes to love, I want a slow hand.
The new Chic Plus for the easy touch.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol, the only leading motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Wood Finish by Minwax penetrates deep into wood, so it's easy to get beautiful results. Bring out wood's rich, warm glow with Wood Finish by Minwax.
Minwax makes wood beautiful.
Hey, where did you learn about computers?
In the Army.
You were in the Army, too?
Qualify for the GI Bill and the Army College Fund, and you can earn over $25,000 for college.
What you do in the Army?
Airborne.
You used to jump out of airplanes?
A sellout, noisy crowd here at the Kingdome watching Minnesota and Seattle here in the second period. We're tied at 7. Jerry Burns, the Vikings coach, well aware of what kind of noise he was going to get in here, had this to say about it.
You know, once they went to see the Twins up in Minnesota, they can get pretty much accustomed to it.
I would think so. First down, Seahawks. Vikings lost 26 yards on that penalty of the second punt situation. Warner is grabbed by Joey Browner, but flags are everywhere. A loss of about 5 on the play. A flag down as the ball was snapped, and then flags after the play was over.
That's going to be offside against Minnesota again. Dolman getting caught by that erratic count of Craig, and that time Joey Browner's going to get a face mask penalty. I'm sure it wasn't intentional, so it's going to be a question of how they mark it off. Probably take the face mask penalty. It'd be a first down and advance the ball.
Steve Largent over there huddling with Red Cashin and the officials.
Face mask, number 47 on the defense. That penalty is declined. Offside, number 56 on the defense. That'll be accepted. It'll be first down and 5.
That 5-yard gain will take him to the 45-yard line.
There's Tommy Kramer talking to Coach Byrne. Now, Tommy, I talked to him earlier on the field in warm-ups. He said he is healthy. He's about 90%. If he had to, he could play today. But he still doesn't have the feel on the ball that he'd like to have.
Coming back from a pinched nerve injury. Wade Wilson has been the man, and they have won 3 games with Wade this year.
Coach Burns said he doesn't know when, he'll put Tommy back in. He said he may just wait for the right situation and go with it. Very superstitious coach, like all of them are. They dress the same, they keep the same players on the field, they eat the same food, just like their athletes.
A little Viking welcome back there by some of the fans here in Seattle for their team coming home. John L. Williams dives for about 4 yards. Jesse Solomon trips him up. And for another NFL update, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Tim, the Houston Oilers look strong this year. They overcame a 15-point deficit in the fourth quarter, rallied. Here's the winning touchdown for Warren Moon. They could wind up all alone in first in the AFC Central. San Diego leads Cleveland 14-7 in the second. Back to Tim.
Well, we'll be watching that one. With great interest, second down and 2. It affects the Seattle Seahawks, of course. Williams, a good, hard piece of running for a first down, Seattle, to the 36-yard line. Dolman made the tackle there. Just going back to that punt. He had a 52-yard punt that got a real good bounce in Minnesota's favor. After the penalty, when Coleman had to punt again, the differential was 26 yards, and it gave the Seahawks this excellent field position. Well, they've taken advantage of it. They now have a first down, and they're at the 37-yard line of the Vikings.
You got to be careful when a team's run the ball a lot. You never know if you're going to come up with a play-action pass to try and burn you deep. The defense gets lulled into what's going on.
Craig gets intercepted. Studwell, number 55, and that ball came right to him. He was in a deep drop, obviously, but he didn't have to chase the ball at all. What happened here, Joe?
Obviously, Studwell wasn't fooled. Minnesota, you'll see him. He's just going to go right back and catch that thing right there. He's going to make the play on it. Good drop. He sets. He comes back, checks the tight end crossing, doesn't take the bite, and just slides right. Now, David Craig has started to look at his receivers a little bit more.
That one intended for Largent wound up in the hands of Studwell. We'll be right back, still tied at 7.
If someone told you an American missile aimed at Moscow might hit Chicago, that would shake you up, wouldn't it? 60 Minutes tonight on CBS.
He's Darren Nelson of the Minnesota Vikings with his wife Cam and their son Jordan. And they're going to school because they believe the message they're bringing to these young people is something that will last them a lifetime.
You know, we're here today to talk about something really important, something really special, and that's Project Charlie. There are 3,300,000 problem drinkers in the age group between 14 and 17. That's why we're here. These kids aren't too young to learn how to make decisions that will keep them from becoming the victims of alcohol and drug abuse. And United Way supports this effort. Now, can you all tell me why you're special? Why are you special?
Because I don't do drugs.
More and more of us in the National Football League are joining in this fight. And when you choose to help through your support of the United Way, we can all be winners. I want you to have the courage to say no to drugs and alcohol.
The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us. This message furnished by the National
Football League is sponsored by Dodge Cars and Trucks. For performance, on-road and off, it's gotta be a Dodge. Tandy Computers, because there is no better value, only at Radio Shack. And by Delta Airlines. We love to fly, and it shows.
Tim Ryan and Joe Theismann, where the interception here in Seattle has given the Vikings first down at their own 39, and that is batted away from Wilson, the charge of Fred Young, the linebacker. And Joe Nash, the nose tackle.
There's Fred Young right in the middle of your screen. Now he's going to come and just put a lot of pressure. He runs outside. There's Green on the outside. Now Young just comes in and knocks the ball down. He does everything for Seattle. He rushes on pass return, on passing downs. David Craig, in talking to John Harris, he said Craig has had a tendency, it seems this year, to look at his primary receivers a lot longer than he did previously. It's an aid to helping him understand the offense a little bit more, but it's also a tip-off for the defense.
Quick pass out intended for Rice, but the big charge by Brian Bosworth, number 55, up the middle, forced Wilson to throw it faster than he wanted to.
The Boz. There he is with his. By the way, today for this game he has blue in his hair.
Seattle colors he put on today.
Yes, home colors.
Had to love his crack last week when they went down to play the Raiders and they didn't have any hair coloring in. He said, when you go to Hollywood, you don't have to go Hollywood. So he was just blonde last week. Third down. Wilson gets time. Deep. Intercepted. Melvin Jenkins down at the 5-yard line. Seattle gets it right back with 9:46 to play in the first half.
A6, hurry and you'll make it.
Delta Airlines ticket agent Sam Singletary knows how to get people moving.
Mr. Franklin, your bag.
But sometimes he has to show off a few moves of his own. The kind of moves that made him a first-string halfback. Sam Singletary shares a feeling with everyone at Delta. He loves what he's doing, and it shows.
We love to fly,
He's the kid.
and it shows.
What's all the excitement at your Chevy dealers? It's Chevy National Pickup Month. Come see new option packages for $1988 that can save you up to $1,900 on Chevy S10 pickups. And take the test drive of the decade in the advanced new full-size Chevy. The first all-new full-size pickup introduced in this decade. See your Chevy dealer now during Chevy National Pickup Month. Everybody else is.
Well, you see Wade Wilson, he just got a little commiseration, I'm sure, from Tommy Kramer there about the intercept. But you don't think that was too damaging, Joe?
No, I don't. But he's not going to get any commiseration from Bob Schnelker, his offensive coach, I'll tell you that. Right down the middle of your screen, from the right side, you see easily gets beat by Lewis down the middle. But Melvin Jenkins makes the interception like Jenkins was the receiver. That's not going to hurt the Vikings a lot because they wind up giving Seattle the ball on the 5-yard line. It acts as a punt. So that interception was not a bad one for Wade Wilson.
First down, Seattle. They have the ball back. That's good for them. And Warner gets out to about the 9-yard line.
Of course, it throws a lot of weight back on the defense now. Say, okay, look, we've got them pinned down in the hole. Defense, stop them. Get us good field position.
Henry Thomas and Joey Browner made the defensive play for the Vikings.
I've always felt that this is a great place on the field to try a long pass. You've got the defense going to have to defend 92 yards. Why not make a little play-action fake and put it up deep? You've got big play, Darryl Turner, Largent, of course, their third down man. But you got some speed. Go ahead and put them out there. Obviously, Seattle doesn't agree. They've got everybody in tight.
Warner again, Kurt Warner. Warner has, well, depending on the spot, may have picked up the first down. Yes.
And of course, that's the other way to do it. Bring in your goal line offense and run Kurt Warner up inside.
Warner seemed very relaxed, very confident about his team's chances this season in this game, and a happy man here in Seattle. He's healthy again. Good perspective on pro football and the strike situation and the rest of his life. Warner again cuts it back inside and picks up 4, maybe 5. Here at the Kingdome in Seattle, we have a 7-7 tie. Tim Ryan and Joe Theismann watching these two outstanding teams off to good starts with their regulars this season.
Kurt Warner also made a point. We talked to him Friday at practice. He said, now it's time for Seattle to assert itself in the division. We've wondered how good we are. We've played fairly good over the last couple of years. Now we feel like we have the football team that's together to be able to go out and assert ourselves.
Second down and 6. Williams gets to the 25-yard line. Pickup of about 4 on the play. Keith Millard made the tackle, number 75.
The Vikings can't continue to play the type of defense they're playing and allow Seattle to just take and pound and pound and pound and pick up 4 or 5 yards. They're going to have to get their backers involved, possibly in blitzing situations, so that they can shut down the run. I think they're going to have to change what they're doing a little bit.
Seahawks are left with a 3rd and 3. Mays has come in defensively, and the Seahawks have 4 wide receivers on the field. Out of the backfield, first down to Warner. They'll spot it at the 32-yard line of Seattle. Reggie Rutland made the tackle, the rookie from Georgia Tech.
Good quick decision by David Craig to look downfield. Saw he didn't have anything up the field. Said, okay, bang, we'll just bring it right back down to the back. Floyd Peters with his headset on. Very intense coach. Talked to Henry Thomas about him. He's got Keith Millard on the field, who's like a German shepherd running around. He's got Floyd Peters on the sideline, who's a very intense, he uses that term very, very pointedly, intense coach.
First down. Largent is met right at the line of scrimmage. Excellent defensive work on that side. Joey Browner. And we're ready for that play. Onto the field for the Vikings, Tim Newton, number 96, comes in. And for Largent, his first catch of the day, his streak moves to 144 consecutive games, catching at least 1 pass.
Just amazing. To watch the things that this man does on a field, just have to marvel at his ability.
2nd and 9. You can see Ray Butler in motion trying to shake off his defender. Craig has Largent open but threw it inside him. Incomplete.
Well, Ray Butler did the job of clearing out the zone. David Craig just really made a lousy pass. I mean, he let the ball go a little bit too soon. He's in a good rhythm, but he didn't put it out where Largent was heading, which was to the corner.
So that brings up third down. And as we pointed out, they've been successful in converting third and longs. See what they can do here. The Vikings would like to stop them. They've got them at the Seattle 33-yard line.
They've been successful, but I guarantee you they don't want to keep making a habit of it. Here comes the blitz.
Craig pumps once and gets it out. He's got the first down. Paul Stenzi came back to the ball beautifully in front of Browner.
Stenzi gives the okay signal. On the right top of your screen, David Craig in the blitz. You see the blitz coming. Gugumo's coming in from the left side. Here they come up the middle. Nice job of protection. He pumps once, now hangs the ball out, but Stenzi does the right thing. When the ball's in the air, the receiver's got to come back to the ball. That's what really made that reception.
First down, Seattle. Now at their 46-yard line. John L. Williams breaks a tackle and gets 5 inside the 50-yard line. Minnesota territory. Jesse Solomon on the hit. 4:46 to play here in the first half. A 7-7 tie. The scoring came in the first quarter. A 41-yard punt return by Bobby Joe Edmonds, setting up a Craig to turn a 4-yard touchdown pass. And then a bomb from Wilson to Carter for the Vikings set up Wilson's 1-yard plunge to even things up at 7. John L. Williams. Running game of the Seahawks, moving the ball effectively downfield. They're at the 46-yard line of the Vikings. It'll be third and about 2 yards to go.
Well, that time the Vikings brought a few more people besides their front four, and they shut them down a little bit. But you know, the percentage has got to go in favor of the offense when you come up 3rd and 2 most of the time. He ducks under for the big game.
We saw Keith Millard, the right defensive tackle of the Vikings, on the bench, apparently with a back injury. That brought on Tim Newton in his spot. Third down. Warner picks his way and has a first down. Or very close to it. Studwell and Newton made the stop on Warner. Last week, Kurt had 29 carries for 112 yards against the Raiders, and he's been busy here today against the Vikes.
Yeah, he's got the first down. He had to get over the 44, and he's made it by, at least the length of the football. That's my educated guess.
Well, they're bringing out the sticks. Let's see how your naked eye is. Whoa. There it is. Length of the football. A little more. So Seattle with 3:24 now to play here in the first half. Has a first down at the Viking 44. Reverse coming up. Back to Craig. Goes to the short man Williams. First down at the 30-yard line. Studwell and Martin recovered to stop John L. Williams. Little razzle-dazzle by the Seahawks.
That's great defense. You're going to see Warner go this way, Largent go this way. Craig wind up with it down here and then finally get it off downfield to John L. John L's out front. Kurt hands it to Steve. Steve gives it to David. David bounces it off his head. Now he pumps once. Good job of blocking. Now he just hangs it out. Great presence of mind by David Craig.
Yeah, that wasn't the niftiest little lateral pass to him from Largent. Like a hot potato.
Okay, well, let's try it again.
They got the first down. He's got a man open. Warner, touchdown. quite a first half for Seattle. He was really motoring out of the backfield. A perfect strike from Craig, and John Harris too late getting over. Norm Johnson will attempt the point after. The Seahawks have taken a 14-7 lead.
There's the fake to John L. Now, from the right of your screen, Largent's going to come around the corner. Now, they make the fake. You see the defensive back running with Largent? That means that a linebacker should have been on Kurt Warner. That's what set it up.
So there is the man of the moment, Kurt Warner, a 30-yard touchdown play.
I love to see you blush.
Introducing Blush Chablis.
Smile is fine anytime, but I love to see you blush.
It's the beautiful new wine from Gallo that captures what a blush is all about.
One more time.
New Gallo Blush Chablis. It's what happens when a white wine decides to blush.
I love to see you blush.
When you have miles to go and promises to keep.
Listen to the heartbeat of America.
You could just discover new Chevrolet Corsica. And find not just a sports sedan with exceptional road performance, but a sports sedan designed to keep all your promises.
The heartbeat of America.
Corsica.
That's today Chevrolet.
Radio Shack's sale price Tandy 1000 TX brings the gift of a true high-speed business computer to your home affordably. PC compatible, easy to use, with 7 ready-to-run programs for the family. Keep a budget, write term papers, even create graphics or learn music. Save $250 on the high-speed Tandy 1000 TX, color monitor included, only $1249. Tandy computers, because there is no better gift value. Only at Radio Shack.
It is a quest that demands their all and rewards but a transcendent few. It is the quest for the NBA crown, a season preview next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Well, next Saturday, CBS Sports college football activity continues. Number 4 ranked Florida State against number 6 Auburn. That's live at 2:30 Eastern time, and that should be a dandy.
What's that? In again, out again, burger quarterback for Auburn. Today he plays, tomorrow he doesn't. Today he plays, tomorrow he doesn't.
Gilgamesh from the 2-yard line. Picked up and fired back at the 20-yard line by the pumped-up special teams unit of the Seattle Seahawks. David Hollis, number 25, put so much into it he lost his helmet.
Second quarter score, Cleveland 14.
Coming up at halftime, the NFL Today with Brent Nerd to bring you up to date on all the scores and highlights. Some upsets today, some high scores again, as there were last week when they first came back from the replacement season. Wade Wilson, 3 of 8 for 65 yards. An interception on his last toss deep downfield. I think there was an offside on that play.
Tim Irwin jumped up too soon. You think so, huh?
False start. Number 76 on the offense.
Well, it wasn't offside, but it happened to be one that was created by Tim Irwin.
It was. You're right. There's a man who's not very pleased with what's going on. This is a big drive, a big series for Wade Wilson. He's got to get back some of his confidence. He's got to be shaken a little bit. He's thrown 6 interceptions in less than a game and a half. He's got to make something happen positive for his team.
First and 15. Well, he made a perfect strike out the left side. Anthony Carter very close to the first down as we have reached the 2-minute warning here at Seattle with the Seahawks on top.
Lettuce and tomatoes are very delicate. If they get warm, they get all soggy and pathetic looking. So I keep them in their own compartment in my refrigerator. McDonald's does the same thing with their McDLT. The burger stays hot on the McOven side, and the McFridge side keeps the lettuce and tomato cool and crisp. They're kept apart until I put them together. That's why the McDLT tastes so good and fresh.
It's man against machine at the Silver Bullet.
Lou, what is this thing? Oh, it's our new punching machine. Watch it. Put your money in here. Light goes on. Wham! Tells you how hard you punch.
Come back when you're a man.
Hey, Carlos Palomino, you're a world champion. Give it a shot.
Here, hold my Coors Lights.
What does it say? No mas, no mas.
There's no slowing down with the Silver Bullet tonight.
There's an advanced new shape in heavy haulers. The smooth, rounded shape of aerodynamics to cheat the wind and put more power to work. You see it in big rigs and right out front in the advanced new full-size Chevy with standard Vortec V6. Enough standard power to tow over 58 tons of these big rigs and this Ford.
The heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevy truck.
How far will Jake's ex-lover go to catch a killer?
Karen's going undercover.
You're not serious.
Never slept with a cop before.
Jake and the Fat Man, Tuesday.
Surf's up here in Seattle. They got the wave going here in the Kingdome. Second down, less than a yard to go for the Vikings. As Wilson threw that strikeout to Carter, it came up just short of a first down.
Wade Wilson's able to make big plays. It's just that he's got to stop sprinkling in the bad throws that have hurt him. He's got to be more consistent. This is a very important drive for Minnesota to get back into the swing.
Rick Finney for the first down, Minnesota. The rookie from the University of Washington, and the Vikings take an immediate timeout. 1:54 remains here in the first half. Gary Justin made the tackle, and we'll be back at the Kingdome in a minute with Seattle on top by 7.
The Montgomerys, Jack and Phyllis had been good clients and good friends. So when Jack died, it was very upsetting. As his attorney, I had all of his personal affairs to settle, so Phyllis was on the phone with me a lot. One day, out of the blue, she exploded. Apparently, every time she tried to call me, she was either cut off or transferred to the wrong person or put on hold forever. Turned out that our new phone system had the whole place intimidated. No one could make it work. It was supposed to make us look good, and we were coming across looking like a bunch of clowns.
A free trip after just 20,000 miles.
Yeah, but it would take you 20,000 miles to read those restrictions.
He reads?
Northwest frequent flyers get a free trip at 20,000 miles, period.
They're going to California for the weekend.
It's a frequent flyer thing. 40,000 miles and they both fly free.
I've got 40,000 miles. We're going to the mall.
Some airlines make you fly nearly 40,000 miles for one free trip. On Northwest, you get 2.
Possibilities are endless. That's a quote from Brian Bosworth's agent. He's got his Seattle colors on, but he's not on the field, Joe, here in this 2-minute drill.
I'm curious about that sweatband, if it really does keep it off his face.
7 defensive backs are on the field. Wilson off the hands of the intended receiver, Leo Lewis. Second down, Vikings from their own 34-yard line. They trail 14-7.
Big pressure by Jeff Bryant. The reason why Bosworth isn't on the field is because the Seahawks have got their 4 defensive linemen in and their 7 defensive back. That's their nickel package. That's what happens when the other team goes into an obvious passing situation. There he is on the side with Keith Butler as well, who's really helped him a lot. Of course, he took his job on the team, but has really helped him out a lot.
Second down, 10 yards to go, Vikings. Pressure coming. Has his man Lewis. Same play. Got about 8 yards. Stopped by Melvin Jenkins. Third down, 3. Vikings at their own 41.
I don't understand this a little bit. We'll expound on that when I come back.
Okay, another timeout with 1:42 to play, first half.
There are facts about quality Pennzoil motor oil you should know. Facts. Pennzoil is the #1 choice of import car owners in America. Fact. Pennzoil is also the #1 choice among small engine car owners, import and American. For a longer lasting car engine, using the right quality motor oil is the smartest thing you can do. And that's why more import and American small engine car owners use Pennzoil. Pennzoil, the standard of protection since 1889.
Next Saturday, CBS Sports presents Quest for the NBA Crown, a special preview of the NBA's 42nd season. Host Pat O'Brien will have Billy Cunningham, Bill Raftery, Hubie Brown, Tom Heinz, and a cast of thousands. An inside look at the teams and the players to watch next Saturday, 2 Eastern, 3 Pacific, right here on CBS Sports. Joe, I have the impression you didn't think that timeout call was the right place to do it.
No, I didn't. There's a minute and 42 seconds to go in the half. I wouldn't have used my second timeout at that juncture. I would have tried to get the first down passing and then try to get the ball out of bounds.
E.J. Dozier, big hole. All the way down to the 42-yard line of Seattle, where Eugene Robinson and Harry Justin stopped him and tried to strip the ball away.
They're better off getting back in the huddle than trying to nitpick and fight with the Seahawks. You know, when the whistle blows, let them pull the ball out of your hand. Get back in the huddle. The most important thing right now is the clock and being able to move the ball down the field.
They have 1 timeout remaining. They are at the Seattle 40-yard line. Wilson dropped back at the 47 of Minnesota by Fred Young.
But it's going to be offside by Fred Young. He jumped the gun. That's all there was to it. He got off on the right side real quick, and Zimmerman obviously couldn't make the play because he was there too quick.
1:05 on the clock.
Offside, number 50 on the defense, still first down.
Right there, he's just going to, boom, come across real quick. And obviously Zimmerman doesn't have a chance. You see him just get a running start, comes around the corner real hard, does a great effort, though. Even if he was offside, it was great effort.
1st and 5. The ball back now at the 36-yard line. Quick pass out to Allen Rice. Rice runs over people all the way down to the 17-yard line. Now Easley decks D.J. Dozier after the play. Kenny Easley, number 45, a fiery competitor on the Seahawks defensive unit, playing with a shoulder injury suffered last week.
When a melee starts between defensive backs and running backs, you need a big guy like Tim Irwin to go and just push everybody away and drag your guy out. Wilson's going to go back in the pocket. There you see him set. Allen Rice just sneaks out on the screen, gets some big help out in front, just does a great job of cutting. Good blocking downfield by Gustafson, and good running with the ball. Then they try and push the ball away. Now Dozier comes in. He gets pushed around a little bit. He gets knocked over by Easley. Wait a second.
That was a rude welcome for the rookie from Penn State.
What is this? WWF wrestling or professional football?
Wilson is 6 of 12 for 106 yards at 1 interception. He is out of timeouts, but they have a first down at the 17-yard line with 54 seconds still to go.
As a quarterback, I still would like to have a timeout when I'm in this part of the field, because then it allows you the opportunity to throw a long, dragging in pattern without having to rush a field goal unit out or rush your offense to the line.
Quickly out for Dozier, out of bounds. Got to the 11-yard line. Justin pushed him out, stopped the clock with 49 seconds left. Seattle on top 14-7. Wade Wilson, 7 years out of East Texas State. He's been the backup, of course, for many years behind that man, number 9, Tommy Kramer. Getting his chance with the injury to Kramer and trying to make the most of it.
And, you know, we haven't heard from Steve Jordan, who was an all-pro tight end last year for the Vikings. when they get down close, Minnesota has a chance to go to him.
Second down, 5. Clear it out again. Dozier gets to the 5-yard line. Remember, we have also not seen Darren Nelson, who we were told in the warm-up would be ready to start despite his back injury.
Well, see, the referees, Seattle's not stupid. They're going to lay on the running back, and all that happened there is Minnesota's offensive linemen want to get him off the running back and get the clock stopped and the play off.
The flag down as Wilson threw that one away to get the clock stopped.
It's up to the referee to call a timeout. If the guys don't umpire, you just can't let them lay on top of somebody and run around on the field. That time Wade Wilson did the right thing. Even though they get a 5-yard penalty, it was 1st and 10. You still want to try and get in the end zone. There's Bob Schnelker to the left. He's not happy with the way things are going.
Moving by the offense, number 65, still 1st down.
Gary Zimmerman, but of course, as Joe was just explaining, Zimmerman really somewhat victimized there. They just had to get the clock stopped, so they just did whatever they had to do to throw the ball out of the ballpark here.
Wade Wilson did the right thing. Instead of trying to get his team all organized and together, he just took the snap, threw it out. Down here, you can afford a 5-yard penalty because you got to get in the end zone anyway.
At the 10-yard line, 22 seconds on the clock. 1st down. Good coverage in the end zone, and good reaction by Paul Moyer, number 21, to take Wilson out of bounds for a 2-yard loss.
Well, here you see the coverage. You go 1, 2, 3, 4 guys going back to cover 2. It just makes it difficult for a place to throw the football. And you're locked in. You can't really throw an in route unless it's a completion. You see Hassan Jones trying to work outside. There's no place for Wilson to go with the ball and be able to keep not having the clock continue to run.
Vikings have run out Chuck Nelson with 15 seconds still to play, and a 2nd down. They're going to get their 3. Coleman will attempt to call the signal. It's good. Chuck Nelson with the field goal for the Vikings, 29 yards away, and that reduces the margin to 4. And that was a tough play to make, just getting the ball snapped.
I get so loud there, Greg Coleman. Great hands. You know, not only is the punter, they call him touch because of his ability to punt the ball, but he's got great set of hands, gets it down. Nelson's excited. Nobody else is, but Nelson's excited.
Well, that quieted the crowd, but they did their job as they view it here, and that was to create as much noise as possible for the Vikings.
Excellent job also by Wade Wilson moving his team down the field. I still don't understand about using the timeouts as they did. Obviously, they wanted to try and get in the end zone. Wilson doing a very heady thing, getting out of bounds, stopping the clock to give his team a chance to kick the field goal.
Would you have gone one more play before trying the field goal?
Yes, I would have. I would have tried it.
Remaining.
Absolutely. I would have told the receivers, had some type of a pattern, told Wilson, look, go back, take a look. If the guy isn't there, fire it up into the cheap seats or else throw it in the ground. But I would have taken one more try. 15 seconds would have been enough time to get another play off and make a decision. You know, you were really close enough, even if you did get sacked for a 5-6 yard loss, it wouldn't have affected the length of the field goal that much.
It was a 29-yarder, and there's the man who kicked it. Chuck Nelson, Bobby Joe Edmonds, and Randall Morris are the deep men for the Seahawks.
See his shoulder pads come down almost to half of the one. He's got athlete's shoulder pads on, not kicker's shoulder pads.
The low line drive is bobbled at the 25-yard line by Alvin Powell, the reserve offensive lineman, but he was able to get a handle on it.
I talked to Alvin before the game, and he says, I want to get involved in this game somehow.
Well, he did.
He wasn't going to turn around and lateral it to a back.
6 seconds left for Craig and company. They sit on it here at 32 or chuck it up, Joe.
The coach sometimes says chuck it up, but you know, because you can get a penalty. I think they'll sit on it. It doesn't serve a purpose to throw an interception before the end of the half. They come out and they prevent a bad thing happening to play. It's larger.
It's going to be hard to throw from this offensive formation.
We saw Buddy Ryan do it last week. I don't know, Tim.
That's right, we did. It is halftime in Seattle, and the hometown Seahawks are on top 14-10.
By the U.S. Army, a place to be all you can be. McDonald's, it's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's. And by the heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet.
Aggressor tank spotted.
In a battle drill, you need horsepower, firepower, people power. That's teamwork.
Moving tank, direct front, 2,000.
This team uses a computer, thermal sight, laser rangefinder.
Fire! Yeah! All that you can.
We win, the whole tank wins. The whole team wins, not just one person.
Find your future in the Army.
Now you can get a home-style dinner no matter where you roam. 'Cause as long as there's a Bob Evans, you're just a few smiles from home.
Welcome to Bob Evans.
You'll like our charbroiled chicken and ribs, the halibut and steak are great, it's no fib. Welcome to Bob Evans.
Some of the best cooking you'll ever have.
Just a few smiles from home.
On Houston night.
You know of anybody that would benefit from your death?
A TV evangelist becomes prey to a dark and deadly force.
This is a circus.
Then, how far will Jake's ex-lover go to catch a killer?
Karen is going undercover.
You're not serious.
I've never slept with a cop before.
Jake and the Fat Man. And on the lawn, Harry McGraw.
I never lost a missing person yet.
Can Kay Ballard, a crime boss's wife, dupe Harry into the family business? All Tuesday at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
It was vintage wine in new bottles around the NFL today. Eric Dickerson in his first game as a Colt rushed 10 times for 38 yards, caught one pass for 28, and the Colts won. Bo Jackson receives his first NFL handoff with the Los Angeles Raiders, and he rushed 8 times for 37 yards, but the Raiders come up a loser. And Chris Carter made his debut with the Philadelphia Eagles. He caught only one pass, but it was a big one for a touchdown, and the Eagles beat the St. Louis Cardinals. Welcome to New York, everybody. Along with Jimmy the Greek and Irv Cross, I'm Brett Musburger. Quickly to the scoreboard. The key team story today. Jim McMahon does it for the second week in a row. He rallies the Bears past the Chiefs. Ditka was furious as his team fell behind by 2 touchdowns twice. Plays like this. Kansas City flea flickers. Bill Kennedy to Stephon Page made it look easy against the Bears. But the big man was back in charge, and Jim McMahon threw 3 touchdown passes. This one to Willie Gault. It was the game winner, and the Bears came from behind and pulled it out 31-28. Greek, what about Jim McMahon?
Causes chaos, excitement, which gives the team total confidence. They're never behind.
They are something with McMahon, a quarterback.
Well, they've won 24 consecutive games with him as a starter.
That's right.
Right now, I'm going to call him the comeback player of the year, okay?
You got it.
All right. Now, Tampa Bay. Boy, they lost a tough one last week to the Bears, but today they beat the Green Bay Packers 23-17. Ray Perkins there with quarterback Steve DeBerg. Watch DeBerg over the middle now to Gerald Carter. 5 yards and a touchdown. They led 17-0, and they simply pulled away after that to an easy win. The standings in the NFC Central. The Bears pull up at 6-1 now, but Tampa Bay and Minnesota both in contention for a wild card spot. Indianapolis and the Jets. The Colts pick up Eric Dickerson. Now, to go along with their Bentley, they've got a Rolls-Royce. And watch the flea flicker here. Jack Trudeau going to Matt Booza. But I mentioned the Rolls-Royce Dickerson. The Bentley Albert rushed 29 times for 144 yards on the afternoon. And Greek, Dickerson's only going to get $1.3 million a year.
Do you take off anything for fumbles?
Does he have to give it back?
A little bit for each fumble.
As I recall his career with the Rams, he only fumbled in January in those playoff games. New Orleans and Atlanta and the Saints today looking like a wild card team. 38-0 over the Atlanta Falcons. Bobby Hebert here with a 7-yard touchdown pass to Mike Jones. And on the day, he was 15 of 25, 164, and the 1 touchdown. Now Minnesota and Seattle, and Dave Craig has thrown a couple of touchdown passes. Seahawks lead it by 4 at the half. Cleveland, and as we go here to see what was happening out in the Dome, Wade Wilson, and he'll go to Leo Lewis, a 10-yard gain down to the Hawks' 1-yard line. That set up a touchdown. What about Dave Craig? How would you evaluate him, Irv Cross?
Well, you saw him hit that touchdown pass to Kurt Warner. You know, he's one of these guys, you know, who's, I think, is an underrated quarterback. You know, he doesn't have great skills, but he gives you the most of what he has.
I'll tell you one thing. He's underrated, and he should be.
Sure. Okay. Well, you think so? Keep winning out there.
Cleveland and San Diego. This is a big one. This could be a preview of a key game in the AFC playoffs. Both these teams are very solid this year. Browns and Chargers are tied at 14 there in the second quarter. Detroit and Denver, the hapless Lions being blasted by the Broncos right now. 24-0 is the score, and they're not even at the half. And San Francisco doing the same to the Rams. Jim Everett still has a long ways to come, and here he is against the 49ers, and Montana pulling out, and he throws his second touchdown pass of the game, and that one was to Frank.
Yeah, that was Montana.
Exactly. He threw his second touchdown pass of the game.
You know, there's only one problem with his quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams. He can't read defensive secondaries very well, and he doesn't think too fast, you know, like me sometimes.
You know, I say one thing about Jim Everett. He never played quarterback in high school until he was a junior. You know, most of the kids who are in the National Football League as quarterbacks probably started back in their Pop Warner days.
Right. Well, you know, he hasn't thrown a touchdown pass yet, and he told me one reason for it is with the new pass offense they had that Zambezi put in, there are just too many keys to read.
Exactly. Yeah, we will continue right after these messages from your local stations.
On a special episode of Murder, She Wrote, Jessica's cousin Emma is accused of planning a poisonous picnic.
Oh, dear me.
Anthony Newley guests on Murder, She Wrote. Then, one high school teacher murdered. 2 young children missing. 1 high school teacher under suspicion. 1 high school principal under suspicion. A baffling murder mystery. If it weren't true, you wouldn't believe it. Echoes in the darkness. All tonight, starting at 8, 7 Central and Mountain.
This is CBS.
Didn't we see you once? In 1856. Yeah. And we still don't have Henry's Light beer.
What did he say? Henry's Light beer.
Henry's Light. Now the times are right. Weyerhaeuser has now planted 2 billion seedlings over the last 20 years. That's like putting 400,000 new trees into the ground every working day. Day after day, year after year. For lumber, pulp, paper, and thousands of things made from wood. It's all part of the Weyerhaeuser High Yield Forestry Program, where we plant 5 trees for every 1 we harvest. It also involves thinning, fertilization, reforestation, and protection of wildlife habitat. 400,000 new trees every working day for 20 years. Weyerhaeuser High Yield Forestry. It's just one way we're making sure Weyerhaeuser quality products will be available for a growing America. Today, tomorrow, and forever. Weyerhaeuser, the tree growing company.
Welcome back to New York, everybody. So the Washington Redskins become a 6-game winner today, and they beat the Buffalo Bills, opening up a big lead and then holding off Jim Kelly and friends. For a time, it appeared as though the Bill offense might rally, but they were too far behind. And the Skin defense did a good job on Kelly. Here they are dropping back, and picking that one off is Todd Bowles, and he returns at 18 yards. Now watch Jay Schrader to Kelvin Bryant. He's the safety valve on this play. 7-yard touchdown as Bryant scores twice. And Bryant all day long, of course, burned the linebackers of the Buffalo Bills. Cornelius Bennett, when will he be able to help?
Well, he's going to play next week, but he won't be effective for a couple of weeks. He has to get back in shape again. But they think he could be the Lawrence Taylor type linebacker, a real impact player.
Well, you know, if he's a warm weather guy, he's out of Alabama, and he goes up into the snow belt, up into Buffalo. And in our pregame show, I said, Cornelius, how are you going to put up with the weather up there in Buffalo?
Well, you know, won't be outside all the time. And then, you know, I got enough money now to buy a big fur coat if I want one. So I think everything will be all right.
How much money did he get?
He got a ton, almost as much as Testaverde and Dickerson.
All right, one of the richest contracts ever in the National Football League goes to young linebacker Cornelius Bennett. The Philadelphia Eagles now over the St. Louis Cardinals, 28-23. Randall Cunningham is becoming a quarterback. With 40 seconds remaining, Greg Garrity for the winning touchdown in that. And Greek, what about the Eagles? How far can this team go now?
I tell you, Philadelphia, Tampa, Minnesota, they all look like they got a chance for the wild card. But don't worry, the Giants will be there too.
I know, I keep hearing that. But hey, Greek, look at this. Take a close look at these standings. Your Giants are 1-5. My Redskins are 6-1. Right.
50-1 shot, that's all.
Pittsburgh and Miami, no better quarterback than Danny Marino. He trailed, and there again, the final score, the Eagles up over the Cardinals 28-23. Danny Marino, no better quarterback in all of football. He rallied the Dolphins again today, 35-24 over the Pittsburgh Steelers. He is magnificent, Irv.
Well, I tell you, of course, he's touchdown galore here, number 41-yard touchdown to Mark Clayton. Of course, with Marino, you know, you think you have him under control, but yeah, such a quick release, you know, he's so accurate.
That's it. That's what gets him, that quick release, you know. Not that he gets rid of the ball real fast. He gets rid of the ball when he has to real fast.
Oh, he did it today, didn't he, gentlemen? 4 touchdown passes, 25 of 31 for 332 yards. Houston, Cincinnati, the Oilers alive, 31-29 over the Bengals. And the AFC Central standings right now, pending the outcome of that Cleveland game, show that Houston has climbed to the top at 5-2. I've been saving this one for my expert, the Greek. The Patriots over the Raiders, 26-23. They kicked the field goal with no time left after missing one, but the Raiders were offside on the play. And, Jimmy, what has happened to your Raiders?
Attention. They were a 4-point underdog today and only got beat by 3.
The NFL today will continue after this.
I gotcha.
It did.
For the first winter ever, there's actually an antifreeze that will guarantee your radiator. The antifreeze, new Prestone Advanced Formula. Use it after using Prestone Super Flush. And should our protection fail, no matter which model car you have, we'll pay for your radiator repairs. New Prestone Advanced Formula. The antifreeze that guarantees your radiator.
There's a new stone-washed jean made for a man after his work is done. American Hero Jeans from Wrangler.
Bravo, proceeding on rescue training mission.
One weekend a month, you can take off for the beach, the mountains, or a drive in the country in the Army Reserve.
Subject spotted.
It's no picnic, but it's the kind of excitement no other weekend offers.
Mission completed. We're heading home.
And you'll still have 3 weekends a month to take off on your own.
Find your future in the Army Reserve.
We'd like to remind you about something the U.S. Olympic team already knows. It's not whether you win or lose. It's whether you have a good health plan. King County Medical Blue Shield.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Michelob Light. When the sun goes down, light up the night with Michelob Light. Delco Electronics, from car music systems to onboard computers. Automotive electronics, it's who we are. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Tim Ryan with Joe Theismann. We're at the Kingdome in Seattle. Cloudy skies outside and perfect conditions inside. Here, 65,000 welcoming back their Seahawks. And the Seahawks, of course, coming off a big win last week down in Los Angeles against the Raiders, and currently up here by 4 over the Minnesota Vikings. It was interesting in talking to both coaches. Each said about the other, that's the best team I've seen this year. Sometimes you think that's just rhetoric, but I had the feeling from both Jerry Burns of the Vikings, Chuck Knox of Seattle, they really believed it.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, you talk to Chuck Knox, it's the best team I've seen on film. He feels the Vikings and the Bears are up there. Seattle, I mean, everybody, each team has a lot of respect for one another, and it's shown this afternoon in the game. You know, it's a 10-14 game, well played by the offense. Special teams making a big play for Seattle to get them an opportunity for that early score. Interesting too, the fans, how much they're behind the Seahawks. Kenny Easley, in an article this morning's paper, mentioned he thought that they wouldn't, they wouldn't really come out and support them. That they, feel pretty good about the replacement team, but that hasn't been the case. They're happy to have real football back.
Chuck Nelson will kick it off. Randall Morris to the 30-yard line. Well, the Seahawks continued in that first half to do well on third downs, and it led to these total yardage figures. Passing yards, 90 yards for the Seahawks, 166 total yards. The Vikings actually with a few more yards of total offense.
Well, and here's one of the ones that jumps out is Seattle's put a lot more pressure on Wade Wilson than Minnesota has put on David Craig. That's going to be something the Minnesota defense is going to have to do this afternoon.
David Craig. Warner had 51 yards on 11 carries in the first half. And his fellow Penn Stater carried only 5 times, 23 yards, but they averaged equally.
Minnesota misses Darren Nelson in the backfield. He's their outside threat. He broke the 72-yarder against Denver on Monday night. But he's Mr. Outside. Dozier is sort of Mr. Inside for their offense. And they lose that extra added speed when he's not able to play.
Second down and 7. Play action. Craig under pressure gets it out. He's got a man open. That is Ray Butler, and he has a first down out at midfield. Loose ball picked up by the Vikings and run back all the way to the end zone, but the play was already over. John Harris had the coverage. Wilson was 8 of 14 for the Vikings in the first half, and Craig 8 of 12. Each of them had an interception. You recall the Wilson interception was thrown way downfield. Now there's a discussion back up at midfield as to whether or not that ball did come loose before play was whistled dead.
Everybody's got to get their 2 cents in it. You see David Craig up pleading his case. Scott Stedwell pleading the case for the Vikings.
Let's see it again.
Craig just does get the ball off. Ray Butler on the crossing pattern makes the catch. Now that's no problem. Being chased down by Carl Lee. Now does the ball come loose? Is his knee on the ground? Where's the football?
Ooh, hard to tell.
That one's going upstairs for examination. There, the ball is starting to come loose. He still has possession of it. He still has possession.
Knee was down, it would appear, on that replay before the ball came loose.
I don't know. The fans here just saw it. I think that could go to the inconclusive bin.
No, the replay official is Norm Schachter.
There he is running the play back, looking at it in slow motion.
Ray Butler said, I don't know what all the fuss is about. That play was over as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I'm going back to the huddle.
Carl Lee of the Vikings took it into the end zone. But it will be a first down, Seattle. right on the midfield stripe. Opening series, second half. Seattle by 4. Now, some more communication going on. From upstairs, evidently, with our referee, Red Cashin.
I don't think the people in Seattle like the age of technology. I think they're... This really hurts a ball game. I mean, if you're a quarterback, you make an 18-yard completion. Your offense is moving.
Based on review by the replay official, the play stands as rule, first down.
We knew that, right?
Well, I guess they hadn't relayed it to Red at that point, but...
Yeah. You can't keep him in the dark. He's the guy with the whistle that gets everything going.
Sigh of relief there for Chuck Knox. First down, Seattle. They come out in the I formation. Largent in motion. Kurt Warner knifing his way for another Seattle first down. Lee and Harris on the stop.
You're going to see Madison Bailey make some big blocks. Boom, boom, and Warner's going to come zooming right up inside. Largent, of course, taking the cornerback over in motion. Clears out this side. Now here they come. John L. Williams leading the way. Warner just takes that little stutter step, that hesitation, and wham, right on up the field. Does some great running. John Harris sticks his head in, make the play.
Warner again. Another nice piece of running by Kurt Warner before Jesse Solomon stops him. He picks up close to 9. Warner, the 4-year man from Penn State, #1 pick in '83. You can see his numbers and Dozier's pretty close and pretty impressive.
Yeah, they're two guys that are 1 and 2 with a lot of reason. They both talked about Joe Paterno also, his great influence. And what was so interesting, DJ Dozier said, you know, the one thing about Joe Paterno, he does everything right. He doesn't make a mistake. Everything he says turns out that way.
Williams gets a turn and will be close to the first down. You know, in talking about Paterno, it was fascinating to me to hear that almost reverence for a head football coach that Dozier brought up yesterday in our conversation with him. And it's clear that he's had quite an impact on Dozier, and he felt that he had the same impact on Warner. They had shared that in a conversation at the Fiesta Bowl last year. This will be close to a first down. Warner with 112 yards against the Raiders last week. Quickly approaching the 100-yard mark here today early in the second half.
Ooh. This is a very tempting position on the field and down for a coach. You've got relatively, you're on a 30-yard line. You've got such a short place to go. What a great situation for a play-action pass. You almost have 2 downs here. You can come back and pick up 2 inches usually, and your running game has been working for you, so it gives you that opportunity to maybe take the shot, maybe try that play-action pass and get the ball up the field.
I'd love to see them do that. It's rare that they do it.
Well, they've gotten away from it a lot. Instead, they give it to the fullback up the middle and get the first down and line it up again.
John L. Williams, the second-year man from Florida. He was their #1 choice a year ago. 226-pounder. First down, Seattle, and they're at the 27-yard line.
We talked about third down conversions. Again, there's another third down conversion by Seattle. First half, they were 4 of 6 for 66%.
Warner and Williams have been all the way at the running back position. The Seahawks. Warner for Largent. Looked up at the wrong time. The ball was just arriving in Largent's hands.
He did. He mistimed it to the left part of your screen. This is just a simple 5-step drop by David Craig. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Set and throw. Steve Largent does a great job. He just lulls Lee to sleep. That's one of the things that Steve Largent does so well. Once he's down the field, to make the defensive back believe that the ball's coming, get him to turn around and accelerate just at the last second to make the catch.
Norm Johnson with a point after. And the Seahawks widen their lead with 11:14 to go here in the third quarter, 21-10.
In 3 weeks, the game of the year, Oklahoma-Nebraska on CBS Sports.
It's here. A sleek new example of design leadership. A sophisticated sedan with superb road manners. Its name, Ford Tempo. The new Ford Tempo. A more sophisticated way to express your driving ambition.
Have you driven a Ford lately?
Light up the night.